Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be my top 10 films from 2003 we're on now. Got two honourable mentions this time, which we'll obviously go through first. Again, it's a pretty solid firm year for me. It was pretty easy going through these. There were some that I was looking through that came out in 2003 that I've seen and I really like, I just don't own. And with this series, I'm only going to show a film if I actually physically own it, not if I've only seen it and I haven't got it. That's just the way it works. There are some, like I said, that I have seen that have come out that year that I just don't have yet. But yeah, we'll go through the ones that I have seen, the ones that I like. There may be some. There are, as usual, most of them are pretty mainstream, pretty big titles. But as I've been told by people in the Loons group, by the guys in the Loons group, even if it's a big film, there are some people haven't seen the big films. So it's still worth doing because there might maybe a few films in here that I can recommend to people that haven't seen them, which is the purpose of me doing these sorts of videos. Not only showing off different films from the collection, but pinpointing specific films from these years. So I'll start off with my first honourable mention. And I'll say before I talk about this, this is the Australian import, which I was just lucky to come across at a very good price because it generally is quite expensive to get. And it's the only place you can get it on Blu-ray, I think. But the DVD is very readily available in this country. This is probably one will be up Sam Street, probably be up Ashes Street as well, because it's an early noughties American comedy, starring one of my personal favourite comedians, who's not for everyone, but I find him quite funny, and that's Steve Martin in Bringing Down the House, which also stars Queen Latifah, Eugene Levy, who always cracks me up and appears, if you know, later on in this list, you probably know what film I'm going to be mentioning. You've got Betty White, who's an absolute scene stealer in this film. Joan Plowright, who's absolutely hilarious in this film as well in one of her later roles. And Jean Smart, who plays Steve Martin's character's ex-wife, who he's trying to reconcile with, because they've got two kids together. Basically, it follows Steve Martin's character, who, as I said, is divorced. He's a bit uptight and he's a lawyer. He meets Queen Latifah's character, who's just escaped from prison, and knocks on his door, basically demanding to stay there. It's quite funny. And she kind of turns his life upside down, gives him some stuff that he never knew he needed. And it's like quite heartwarming, funny, your typical early 90s thing. Cheaped out by the dozen. If you like the other sorts of stuff Steve Martin has done, it's very similar to that, but more out there. It's I think it might be a 12 over here or 15. I mean, it says low level violence, drug use. There's some stuff that they couldn't get away with comedy wise nowadays. It's directed by Adam Shankman, who I think I mentioned in a previous video. Now, he did the year prior to this A Walk to Remember, which, as you probably know, is one of my favourites. He's done Hairspray 2007, which obviously had Queen Latifah in. Rock of Ages, which I quite liked as well. And then he did that What Men Want, which wasn't great. And he also did the sequel to Enchanted, Disenchanted, which I thought was alright. But yeah, this is a fun, easy watch comedy. But yeah, I had to include this on my list because I always have a lot of fun when I watch this one. And then my second honourable mention is a biopic, a true story about a racing horse. This is the Canadian Blu-ray release, not available over here on Blu-ray, but there's various imports from different countries going around on eBay. You can get for about a tenner, I think, or just get the DVD for a few quid. And that is Seabiscuit, starring Tobey Maguire, Jeff Bridges, and Chris Cooper. And it's directed by Gary Ross, who did... What did Gary Ross do? I'm sure he did that Ocean's 8, I think he did, and something else. I mean, it says Academy Award nominated filmmaker, so he obviously was nominated before this for an Oscar for something, but nothing's coming to mind what it was, so let me know in the comments if you know what that was. I'm sure it will come to me at some point. But yeah, it's based on a true story about three men. A jockey, played by Tobey Maguire, a trainer, played by Chris Cooper, and the businessman, played by Jeff Bridges, who are trying to, they take on this racehorse and are basically trying to get it to win all of the big races back in the 20s. Now, Jeff Bridges' character basically starts the film. He works on cars, and over a few years, I think there's a recession or something, but he becomes a huge businessman, has a lovely house, he's got a wife, a daughter, I think. I think then the recession comes and he basically loses everything. I won't say what else happens because watch the film. It is a true story though, and that's when he gets the opportunity to buy this racehorse, and it goes from there. It's a great inspirational drama. Obviously, it's a true story. If you're into these sorts of films, I highly recommend it. Just a really good drama. When was it? So 1938 was the big race. Yeah, really solid biopic there, Seabiscuit. Then going into my top 10. First of all, I had to include this because I think the first two are probably the strongest. There's another one later on that I think competes with them. But just a classic film. And it's aged really well, I think. I've not actually watched the 4K yet, so I need to probably dig into that soon. But it's X-Men 2, which, yeah, I remember it being great. You got Brian Cox as, is it William Stryker? And I remember it's very cold where they are in this one. Lots of snow. All the main people from the first X-Men film, obviously Hugh Jackman, Anna Paquin, Famke Janssen, Halle Berry, James Marsden, Rebecca Romain, Alan Cumming, Bruce Davison, all of the ones from the first one, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, obviously. And yeah, I remember it being good. It's still sealed, obviously. As I said, I haven't gone watched the 4K yet. But it's a solid film, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you've not seen the X-Men film. Might be my favourite of the first three, possibly. Either this one or the first one for sure. But yeah, that's X-Men 2, which is now number 10. Then coming up next, we have, it's in with the second one. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, the best of all 5 of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I enjoy all of them. I know the last 2 aren't great, but they're all a lot of fun. The first one is definitely the best. Really like the first one. Obviously introducing us to Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, who is one of the best. I think it's one of Johnny Depp's best characters. I mean, he was not even nominated for an Oscar for his performance in it. Obviously you got Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Geoffrey Rush, Kevin McNally, who I really like, Jonathan Pryce. Great cast in that first one, directed by Gore Verbinski, obviously produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who did all of the films. Just a classic swashbuckler pirate film, the best of its kind, I think, that I've seen. And yeah, just well worth watching. If you like those sorts of swashbuckler adventure films and you've not seen the Pirates of the Caribbean films, I recommend just checking out the first 3. The first 3 are brilliant. Fourth one gets a lot of hate, but it's alright. I don't mind it, although saying that, it's been a very long time since I've seen it. And I saw the 5th one at the cinema, and again, I didn't mind it. It's not as good as the first 3, but it was alright. But the first one is the best one in my opinion. It's great fun ride, I would say. And yep, so that's Curse of the Black Pearl. And then we have, let me get that back in my Clint set. We're going to go to my Clint set, and we have from 2003 Mystic River, obviously just directed by Clint, starring Sean Penn, got Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, who I think won an Oscar for a role in the film, Tim Robbins, who I think won an Oscar. Obviously Sean Penn won an Oscar for the film. Brilliant film, brilliant like crime drama set in this I think it's like in Jersey. I think they're in New Jersey, about a tight-knit group of friends who went through something when they were kids. They're now adults. Sean Penn's character something happens to one of his family members, he wants to get justice for what has happened. So kind of takes the law into his own hands, although Kevin Bacon, who he grew up with, is the cop investigating the case, and wants to try and play by the books, although he obviously understands his frustration. Tim Robbins' character's very much struggling because of something that happened to him when he was younger. And it's just a really good film about characters and their lives and the decisions in their lives that they make, the cost of those decisions, and brilliant, beautiful film. I think it won Best Picture as well. Worth watching if you've not seen it. I think the films Clint did around here, I mean, you got that one, which was awesome. Space Cowboys is a lot of fun. Bloodwork's not a bad thriller. Then Absolute Power, brilliant film. And Bridges of Madison County is one of my favourites as well. But yep, Mystic River, well worth watching, I would say. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Just going to give the video a pause, and I'll be back in a second. Right, and I'm back. At number 7, I think we're on now. We have the third in the franchise, that is American Pie, which is The Wedding. I love all 4 of these films. I'm pretty sure the second one was in my 2001 video. When I do 99, the first one will be in that video. 2012, I'm sure the 4th one, Reunion, will be in that video. They're just such funny, easy watches. Comfort watches, I suppose you would say. I know they're big comfort watches for Andy as well. Forgotten World of Movies. I know he loves watching these. He watched them again recently. They're just so easy to just stick on and watch and enjoy, laugh. All of them. And this one is no exception. In this one, Jim and Michelle get married. Stifler's planning a big bachelor party for Jim. And obviously Jim's dad's there, as usual. This typical, what you get from American Pie. It's just as funny as the other ones. Yeah, just can't be a bit of American Pie. And yeah, I think my favourite's probably the second or the first, but they're all good. So that's why I've included The Wedding as my number 7. Is it 7 or 6? Yeah, 7. Coming in at number 6 is one of my favourite Tim Burton films, or at least one of the better Tim Burton films that I've seen. This one kind of opened my eyes up to his filmography a bit more. Before watching this, I wasn't a huge fan of Tim Burton. Now, I'd seen Sweeney Todd, which I didn't get on with. I'd also seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I really didn't get on with. Dark Shadows was the only one that I think I really had seen that I'd really liked. And it was around this time I watched this one. I watched the first 2 Batman films, Beetlejuice, Ed Wood, Mars Attack, Sleepy Hollow, all of his classic ones, and I'm definitely a fan now. This is, as I say, one of my favourites. And it's Big Fish. Love to get the 4K for this one. Excuse me. As you can see, it's got great cast. Got Ewan McGregor, Albert Finney, Billy Crudup, Jessica Lange, Helena Bonham Carter, Marion Cotillard, Steve Buscemi, Danny DeVito, the usual people generally that you see in Tim Burton's films. It's about a man who basically is telling his life as he's on his deathbed, basically. And this man in later life is played by Albert Finney. Excuse me, played by Albert Finney. And as a young man is played by Ewan McGregor. He's telling this story to his son, played by Billy Crudup. And obviously his wife is played by Jessica Lange. And obviously his life is being portrayed as this fantastical thing. Everything about it's fantasy. I mean, he comes from this small... I mean, it starts... He's basically... when he's born, he basically comes out of his mother and slides right through the ward on the hospital on the floor. That's how he remembers it or says it, tells it. And then he grows up in this small town, and one day this big giant that lives on the outskirts of town he befriends, um, goes on the road with him, that sort of thing. He becomes involved in a circus with Danny DeVito's character, who's got a secret. Lots of fantastical things happen in this man's life, and it's about his son trying to decide if he's actually the man that he thought he was, if this is him telling the truth, trying to connect with him. And yeah, really good film, really good performances, just a beautifully, stunningly made Tim Burton film that if you've not seen, highly recommend. If you like a good fantasy and you like Tim Burton's other stuff, it's really good. That's Big Fish. Then next up at number 5, we have Anthony Minghella's Cold Mountain, which won Best Supporting Actress. And does it say? I don't know if it says what else it won. I'm not sure if it won anything else, to be honest, but that is what it won. Renée Zellweger did win. It's like a civil war film, I suppose. Epic. It's definitely an epic, I'd say. About a woman falls in love with Jude Law's character. He goes off to war. She says she'll wait for him. Just lives on the farm. Gets some help from Renée Zellweger's character, who just comes to help and live with her. You got people trying to take the farm off of her and take advantage of her. I think, is it Ray Winstone? Yeah, Ray Winstone. Got Donald Sutherland in this one, Natalie Portman, Giovanni Ribisi, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Brendan Gleeson, Eileen Atkins. Just a really great cast, and it's a really good film. Really good Civil War romantic film. If you've not seen it and you like those sorts of films on an epic level, then yeah, I'd recommend this one because it's a really good, really well-made film. So that is Cold Mountain at number 5. At number 4 is one I think I've mentioned before in my videos, and it's a must-watch, I will say, for anybody, even if you just watch it the once. It is a film called The Life of David Gell, which was Alan Parker's final film. Stars Kevin Spacey, who is one of the leading death penalty opponents, always opposing the death penalty. And one day he finds himself on death row for the rape and murder of his fellow activist who has been working alongside him, played by Laura Linney. And it's basically, he's got 3 days until he's going to be executed, and he gives an exclusive to a reporter, played by Kate Winslet. And she starts to realise that that everything isn't as it seems, and he might really be innocent, and she's trying to fight to get to the truth. And what happens is shocking. Really opened my eyes. It is one of those films that's a real eye-opener. Really makes you think about things like this. It's just a brilliant, really well-made film, really well-paced, really tense. And like I said, this film this film actually changed law in America. It changed some elements to the death penalty in America because of what this film did and what happened in this film. It's well worth watching. You won't be wasting your time watching this. I know a lot of people are a bit turned off by Kevin Spacey stuff nowadays, but believe me, you'll be missing out if you don't check this out, because it's just a terrific film, really well made. Yeah, that's The Life of David Gell. At number 3 is one of my favourite war films, and again, it's a Civil War film. Starring Tom Cruise, we have The Last Samurai. Basically Tom Cruise plays this like captain. He's a hero during the Civil War who goes to Japan to basically, and he ends up fighting for the samurai. Something happens and he basically goes to live with the samurai and learns their ways and starts fighting them, hence The Last Samurai. He meets this big warrior played by Ken Watanabe, who's brilliant in this film. And it all leads up to this massive epic battle. It's another epic, I would say. and it's just such a well-made film. Brilliant performances. You've got Billy Connolly in this one, Timothy Spall, Hiroyuki Sanada, music by Hans Zimmer. It's just a really, really good film. One of Tom Cruise's better films, I'd say. If you're not big on Tom Cruise, give this one a go, especially if you like a war film, because it's, like I said, one of my favourite war films. Yeah, that's The Last Samurai. Number 2 is one of my favourite noughties comedies. I'm sure Sam's seen this one, and Ash. It's just such a fun, laugh out loud blast of a film. It is, of course, Todd Phillips' Old School, about a group of guys, kind of middle-aged, late 30s, early 40s, having a bit of a midlife crisis. They decide that they're going to go back to college and start their own fraternity. So they have to try and enlist other guys of a similar age, including an old age pensioner, to be part of their fraternity, because they want to get the girls and have a lot of fun. And you can kind of expect what happens. There's lots of laugh out loud antics that they get up to. You got the dean trying to shut them down, and yeah, it's just a really, really funny film. I'll show you the back. Like you say, there's a bit in the swimming pool where the old bloke's fighting one of them, and these two women. Oh, it's hilarious. It's a film of its time, but it's just so funny, which is why it's my number 2. Yeah, there we have Old School. And then you can guess what number 1's going to be. There was no doubt that this was going to be my number 1. I mentioned it in my last video that it was going to be my number 1 for this video. There's no other film that can top this for me. It is, of course, Return of the King. Best Picture winner that year. Well deservingly. One of the best made films, one of the best made trilogies of all time. Just stunning. I can't wait to dig into the 4K. It's just a stunning film. Epic conclusion to this saga. And yeah, I love this film. I need to give them a watch again soon. I usually rewatch these around my birthday, so it's likely that, like, sort of next week that I'll go back to these, because it's my birthday on Wednesday, although by the time you see this, my birthday's probably already passed, because I'll probably put this up the end of the week, so probably be about to start watching through these. I might even give the Hobbit films a watch again, because I've not seen them since the cinema. Not as good as these, but they're still a lot of fun. But Return of the King, what can you say? It won 11 Oscars. In total, I think they won 17 Oscars across the 3 films, which is incredible for a film like this. It is breathtaking. Yeah, Return of the King, what more can be said about that everybody doesn't already know? So that is my top films of 2003. Let me know if any of those ones are on your list. Let me know if you've not seen any of those ones and you're now interested in watching them. Let me know what you'd put in your list, ones that I've not mentioned here. Love to hear all of your thoughts and comments down below. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment, because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.